Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to session 7. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you've had a chance to get out and enjoy the fresh air a little bit. You know, it's nice to get out of the house now. Today we're going to speak a little bit about the differences between make and do. Alright, so it's a concept that's often very confusing for a lot of people. So our objective for today is to kind of simplify the concept. All right. What I want is that after this video, you're able to kind of think about it in more general terms, and most of the time be correct when you're using the two different words. Because as you know, when you're speaking on the fly and you have to decide whether you should use the word make or do, it's often very confusing. When you look into grammar books or when you look online, you'll often find especially make, but also do, divided into multiple different categories, and it's really difficult to memorize and to know those categories when you're trying to speak. All right, so my objective today is to leave you with this kind of more generalized idea of how to use them, which is kind of is easier and more accessible. So let's get right into it. So with do is relatively simple, and it's a word that we use with activities and tasks. All right, so for example, to do the housework, to do your homework, almost anything that you do at home as in responsibilities or tasks can be used with do. For example, you can do the dishes, you can do the laundry, you can do the ironing, or you can do the cleaning. All right, so all of these ideas can be used with do. We can also use them with, as you can see here, non-specific activities. All right, for example, to do something, to do nothing, or to do anything. All right, so these are kind of the two important categories where we use do. All right, in some explanations, you might see that you can use it to replace a verb when it's obvious. All right, for example, like do the dishes. Right? It could be a replacement for wash. All right, well, if you want to, you can think about it this way or not. All right, another couple examples: to do your nails or to do your hair. All right, so it's not very frequently used like this, but it is occasionally. Now, with make is something that's much more commonly confused, and it's more commonly confused because it's much more widely used. All right, make is used much more than do, and therefore it's often broken down into many different categories. All right, but like I said before, we're going to try and simplify this today. So let me just explain to you the way that I like to think about it. Make always involves this concept of creation. All right, as you can see here, we have physical creation and non-physical creation. So this idea of creation, it doesn't exist, but then somehow it does. Okay, it's created. All right, and this can be physical, like make lunch, make a sandwich, right? Just about anything that you do in the kitchen, right? For example, to make lunch, make dinner, make dessert, make a snack, make a cake, make a pie. All right, all of these are used with make. But it's not just in the kitchen. If you're a carpenter, you can make a chair, you can make a bookshelf. If you work in construction, you make buildings. All right, so this idea of make, you can make an origami dinosaur if you want. All right, there are many, many options. All right, but it's not just limited to physical creation. All right, so non-physical creation, as we have here, can fit into many different categories. Okay, but as we go through these, you'll see that all of these categories have this idea of creation in them. All right, in fact, I haven't even divided it into categories because I don't want to confuse you. So, to make you happy, to make you sleepy, right? Well, maybe before you weren't, but now you are. All right, to make you sleepy, well, maybe a ride on the train makes you sleepy. All right, when you get on the train, you're not, but now you are. Okay, it's something that's created. It's the sensation that's created. All right, to make plans, to make a decision, to make a choice. All right, so this concept of plans and decisions, all right, they're created. You make them in your mind and you formalize them with friends and with families. Okay, so you make the plans, decisions, and choices. Maybe if you're speaking with some friends or some students, you can make a suggestion. Okay, you can share this idea of yours with other people. All right, it's also an idea of creation. Right, you can also make a noise. All right, so whenever we use our voice, right, there are a lot of expressions where we can use make when we're creating a sound with our voice, right? To make a noise, to make a sound, to make a speech. All right. So in all of these concepts, and you can look for bigger lists online. I obviously don't have enough space to put more examples here, but there are lots and lots of examples. And if you kind of think about this abstractly, all of them can kind of fit into this category of creation in some sense. All right. For me, I find it an easier way to think about the concept. All right, because like I said, when you're speaking on the fly and you have to come up with the word that you need instantly, right, it's very difficult to kind of sort through 10, 12 different categories. You kind of just have to think about it, A or B, all right? And, hopefully this is something that'll help you do it. All right, so, of course, in English, we have exceptions to every rule, all right? So here I've added just a few exceptions, right? To do damage or to do harm, right? Damage is like a physical injury, I guess you could say, to an object. Right? For example, if you get into a car accident, you do damage to your car. Right? To do harm is an injury to you. Okay, so you can do damage to your car in the accident, but you do harm to yourself. All right? To make the bed. Right? To make the bed is not to construct the bed like a carpenter would do. To make the bed is the concept that we use every day. When you get out of bed, you put the sheets back in place, you put the pillow in its place, so it looks nice for the next day. All right, so these ideas of do, right, this kind of physical effect, if we think about it logically, would fit more with the idea of make, and make the bed would fit more as in a task or an activity with do. Okay, so unfortunately there are some exceptions out there, and you'll find them. But most of the time, if you think about these two concepts in the way that I've explained, they will fit into this idea of creation or this idea of activities and tasks. Right? So just one more thing that I added here that I thought is interesting is that in certain areas you may use certain concepts where you'll begin to see patterns. Right? For example, if you work in the financial industry, right, you'll see that there are lots of terms that we use with make. Right? For example, to make an offer, to make a loss, to make a profit, to make a gain, to make money, or to make a fortune. Right? All of these fit into this financial concept, and all of these are used with make. So this is something that happens frequently. You'll find tendencies within words, all right, in certain areas. And if you keep an eye out for them, it might help you as well, especially in your chosen profession, to kind of, find the commonality between certain concepts or certain words. Right? In education, as we have here, right, to do your homework, to do an exam, to do research. All right, so it's just one more example of where this is also true. So I hope that this has helped to simplify things. And like I said, if you begin to think about make and do a little more generally in these concepts, right, it might help you to use it more fluidly, when you're speaking. And obviously we don't have time to stop and think and analyze when you're speaking. You have to open your mouth and the words just have to come out. But if we think about it more like this in these two different categories, maybe it's a little bit easier for you. So this is my suggestion for today that will, I hope will be a tool for you to improve when you're out there speaking in your next meeting or in your next presentation or whatever. So that's it for today. So I hope you're well, and I hope to see you in the next session, session 8. So take care and have a good one.